So I'm here with Cameron Youssef, the Storage Made Easy VP Engineering, and he's going to step us through the seamless LDAP Active Directory work we've done between Storage Made Easy and SwiftStack OpenStack. I'll be asking some questions on the way through to make sure I understand exactly how that hangs together, and he'll be doing a demo that will show you how the seamless single sign-on between Active Directory LDAP and the provisioning in SwiftStack with users actually works. So to start with, we logged into the SwiftStack console, and Cameron's going to step us through the setup and config there, and how that relates to how we will set up and then use Active Directory for provisioning from a Storage Made Easy viewpoint. So Cameron, off you go.
Thank you, Jim. This is on SwiftStack. I'm just going to walk you through a couple of middlewares that we have set up, specifically the LDAP and the undelete, which is specific to SwiftStack, which gives you data retention even if a file is deleted. So first thing is that here in SwiftStack, the cluster is set up with the LDAP. So now if a user wants to log in, he can just use his Active Directory or LDAP credentials to log in, and SwiftStack will automatically create an account for him.
Okay, so just so I understand, Cameron, this is an organizational LDAP or Active Directory. That's being paired with SwiftStack, and then if people want to log in directly into SwiftStack, they can do that using their organizational account.
They can do that, and
okay.
I'll just show you. So I'm right now in SwiftStack console, and I have a user, Peter, that exists in Active Directory, and I can pass his credentials, and when I log in, it will go, SwiftStack will go to Active Directory and log me in.
Okay, so essentially what you've done is you've set up LDAP in SwiftStack. That's organizational LDAP or Active Directory, and now any user can single sign on to get directly through to the SwiftStack file container manager, and they can do that using their existing LDAP or Active Directory credentials.
That's correct.
Okay.
All right. So now I will show you the same Active Directory. How is that configured with Storage Made Easy? Do remember, Storage Made Easy is a multi-tenant application, and you can add many team accounts, and I'm just showing you one team account, and on each team account you can set up multiple Active Directories if that's your setup. So it's a very comprehensive solution.
So essentially, if you've got this deployed in a bigger organization and you've got they've got more than one Active Directory LDAP, you can set it up in a way that it can work with several or even more than that.
That is correct.
Okay.
And even if you are an ISP, you can have multiple team accounts for different companies. So on the same cluster, you can run multiple organizations.
So because the Storage Made Easy is multi-tenant and it can handle different companies from a multi-tenant point of view, each of those companies can have their own Active Directory credentials pointing to some back-end SwiftStack.
That is correct.
Okay.
Okay, so now I will show you that where we have configured the authentication systems. Here you can configure multiple systems, and I have the same Active Directory instance configured.
Okay, so and you're using the LDAP features of Active Directory to configure?
I am. Another important thing is that you can provide permissions in Storage Made Easy based on roles, and you do not have to define those roles. We can get those roles from Active Directory
or LDAP. Okay.
And for seamless integration, we have integrated with the SwiftStack, with OpenStack, with WebDAV and CIFS. Okay. So here, that's the important thing, that when a user logs in, he doesn't have to. We do not have to specify. He doesn't have to specify his storage at all. The administrator, he can configure it. Here we are saying that connect to this SwiftStack server. It should show as his home directory.
Okay.
We also provide very tight integration with SwiftStack, OpenStack versions. So rather than using a proprietary versioning, you can say that use OpenStack default versioning. And for undelete API, that whenever a file is deleted, is archived in a specific container, and from there, after a certain period of time, SwiftStack will automatically delete it. You can also specify that.
Okay, so let me just take a step back and look at this in layman's terms. So essentially what you're saying is that if a user logs in once the Active Directory has also been set up in the enterprise file share and sync with Storage Made Easy, all the user has to do is log in and his home directory is automatically provisioned in SwiftStack within the cluster.
That is correct. And SME will seamlessly pass through the credentials to SwiftStack to get access to his containers.
Okay, so you're going to show us that, I guess.
Yes.
I have another question.
Yes.
So on the versions and the undelete middleware, so I guess SwiftStack has got some undelete middleware function that we've taken advantage of. And does that have any real world uses? Using that?
Yes, for legal hold, there is a specific term called legal hold, and there, even if you have to guarantee that a user cannot delete his file, or even if he deletes his file, you can recover it for within a specific amount of period. And we have integrated with the SwiftStack undelete middleware, where a file is deleted, it's put into a specific container, and from that container, the administrator, he can always recover the file, and after a specific period of time, which is configurable, that file will be automatically deleted from the storage and also from SME.
Okay, so what you're saying is that if, for example, there is some organization has some compliance policies around data retention of user files within their company, they can set it up in a way that even if they delete those files, SwiftStack will store them in a container for a period of time that can be defined.
That is correct.
Okay.
And here is the Swift undelete API, which I have enabled for this cluster in SwiftStack.
Okay. Understand that. And I guess now you're going to show us
how to import a user.
How you can log in as a user and they'll automatically get their home directory.
That is correct. So I'll go to the user. I already showed you a user Peter there.
And he doesn't exist here right now?
He doesn't exist right now.
Okay.
So I'll go there. It's already selected. If you have multiple LDAPs or Active Directories configured, you will see a drop-down list here. And either you can do a search or get all the users, whichever way you prefer. So here I got quite a lot of users, but I will just do a search on user Peter. So I have the user. If he had multiple roles, I could have also imported him with his roles. And if you have changed the roles in LDAP, they will be reflected in storage media.
And what if I've got, I've got 10,000 users, 100,000 users, and I want to basically give the enterprise file share and sync function to say 1,000 of them. Do I have to step through this whole interface?
We also provide an API, and we provide scripts that you can that you can use to import the users automatically from a CSV file, from Excel, from LDAP.
Okay. So you can automate this function.
You can absolutely automate this. Okay. So I'm importing the selected user. So the user is imported now.
And when you say import, that really just means that the enterprise file share and sync system is aware of that user from a single sign-on viewpoint.
That is correct. Now I'll go to SME in a different browser.
So now you're logging in. This is the user.
Yes.
So previously it didn't know anything about this user. But now you've made it aware from a single sign-on.
That's correct. So now the user is logging in.
And I guess in the background, what's going on here is that
the user is getting provisioned on OpenStack, SwiftStack. We are creating the containers, which we specified in the configuration.
Okay, so now he's logged in.
Yes. And now if I go to the file manager, you will see that there is a home directory for him, for Peter, which we specified as his username.
Okay.
And now if I go to the Swift console for that user, we'll see a container for him. You will also see versions container that we have created. You will also see the trash container for the undelete. Okay,
so basically, without the admin having to do anything, they've basically got compliance provision with version and undelete through the SwiftStack middleware, and the user's home directory has been auto-provisioned.
That is correct.
So now the seamless single sign-on. We can do this for any number of users. auto provisioning of the home directories, tight single sign-on integration directly between the SwiftStack, OpenStack, directly back into the LDAP and Active Directory organization.
That is correct.
And what happens if I decide that I don't want Peter to log in anymore? Where would I make the change there?
If you deactivate the user in Active Directory, he will not be able to log in, will not be able to access his data.
And that's directly through SwiftStack and directly through SMA.
That is correct.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'll just show you. Okay, so I've dragged and dropped a file. It's getting uploaded. And now if I go to SwiftStack and just do a, you'll see that the file is there now.
Okay.
And now if you want to, if I delete this file, the file is removed from here. And if I go to SwiftStack, just need to refresh. The file is in the trash folder that's created using, which was created by undelete API.
Okay, so basically what's happened here is the user's deleted some corporate file. From a compliance viewpoint, we want to make sure that file is retained for a period of time. User, without the admin and user doing anything, this has been stored in a SwiftStack container we set up as part of the provisioning process when we set up the Active Directory, and that will be retained there for as long as that provisioning process is in place.
That is correct, and only the admin, he can delete the file permanently. The user, he doesn't have permissions to delete the file.
So we totally covered from a compliance perspective
here.
That
is correct.
We can make sure that the compliance elements of an organization are catered for and that they have access to these files if they need to for that period of time.
That is correct.
And in terms of if that file was versioned, something similar would occur?
If it was versioned, then we would have put it in the versions, the old versions, and again, SMA will be showing the different versions.
Okay.
So we are taking advantage of the backend storage with the tighter integration. For certain storage providers, we are doing much more tighter integration and taking advantage of their advanced features.
Okay, very good. So that ends the session between showing you Active Directory LDAP tight integration with SwiftStack. I hope you found it useful. If you'd like any more information, by all means, contact us at info@storagemadeeasy.com. Thank you.